record on this computer so that I can put this on YouTube later. And now I'm going to go live on YouTube, so just be silenzioso per un momento. Torniamo presto. Okay, guys, I'm going to be live with Ruth, okay? So just keep the...
I think we're rolling.
Keep the noise down, okay? If you guys need to make noise, just shut the bedroom door, okay?
My side says recording with a red blinking light.
What? What? Sorry?
My side says recording with a red blinking light.
Yes, I am recording. That is correct. Okay. All right. I think we are ready to go. I'm ready to go live. You ready? Just be. Okay. Here we go.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway.
Hello, Sarah.
Buongiorno, Ruth.
Well, really, buonasera for me.
Buonasera to you, Ruth, and yes, buongiorno to me. So welcome again, everybody, to Cucina Quarantena. I am your hostess with the mostest, Sarah Murdoch, live from Seattle in my own kitchen. And today I am cooking lunch for myself. It's 11 o'clock in the morning Seattle time. Actually, this is going to be brunch since my kids don't wake up until 10. And live from the Cinque Terre from La Spezia, Italy, I have my friend Ruth Manfredi. Buonasera.
Buonasera, Sarah. And I am also cooking from my home kitchen.
You have a fantastic kitchen.
Tonight, as we, hang on a second, I am by myself right now. I do not have my daughter who usually does my, video. We are going to be making frittata.
Fantastic. Can you tell us what frittata is?
So frittata is basically an Italian omelet. It is one of those things that everybody makes at home for lunch or for dinner. Super Italian, very few ingredients. Everyone always has eggs, vegetables. I'm going to show you outside as I'm talking. Wait a minute. If you can see, it's a little too light. It's a beautiful, beautiful evening. We are going to be cooking, well, I'm making zucchini frittata. Sarah, what are you making?
So she's already got her zucchini cooked. So I'm going to kick off the cooking lesson here today because I went through my kitchen. And as you know, this is Cucina Quarantena. So we're using what we have. And if you guys remember a couple of days ago, I made an asparagus pasta, but I didn't use all of it. So I've got some leftover asparagus. And I'm actually going to use the same ingredients that I used to make that pasta with the spring vegetables. So that this is all leftovers, which is so Italian, isn't it, Ruth, to use all leftovers? So I'm going to go ahead and toss in. I've heated up a little bit of oil in a small pan. I'm going to go ahead and toss in all of my vegetables. So my asparagus, my onion. This is just a little tiny saute pan, but we'll make the actual frittata in a bigger pan. So whatever you've got works, right?
You can also make it in a small pan, in a big pan. Frittata depends on how many eggs you put in. So if you want to make like an individual frittata, you could even do it with, one egg if you wanted. I usually do a frittata for my family with 3 or 4 eggs.
Okay. And frittata in Italian, what exactly does that mean?
Frittata in Italian, oh my goodness. Well, friggere means fried. So the frittata is like it's not a fried egg. It's like an Italian omelet. Um, Frittata's frittata. I don't know. Sorry, you're catching me. I'm still a little bit stressed out, I will admit, because I think I just told you. I just did an interview on Italian regional TV for the new project we're launching for Vernazza and to get more tourists to come back to Vernazza this summer. So I'm feeling a little bit like I've had a lot of media exposure today. I think what I need.
This isn't media exposure. This is just cooking with a friend who doesn't happen to live next door to you.
Exactly.
I wish I lived next door to you, and maybe someday I will. But for now, we have to hang out together on Zoom, so that's okay.
I would love that, of course. Okay, so it looks like you're doing great. Now, I don't know if you put in salt and pepper.
Not yet.
By the way, the most important part of cooking is you need to have a little glass of wine as you're cooking. So while you're doing your stovetop cooking, I'm getting a glass of wine.
There's no wine here today because it's 11:15, and if I have a glass of wine, I'll take a siesta, and that'll be the end of my day. So.
All right, you're right, because it's 8:15 p.m. here.
Yeah.
And so, the other thing, I think, so Italians are all about seasonal vegetables, which I can see that you are working on. I have my nice zucchini. And one of the things that's nice about zucchini is I will show it to you when we come back over. In the spring, they're just lovely. They're small. They have this wonderful taste. You can also do a frittata with just onion. People sometimes do a frittata with potatoes. So it really is up to your individual taste. I was doing a little research yesterday, looking at what, prominent chefs say about frittata, if anything.
Yeah.
And Jamie Oliver has a book about cooking in Italy, and he has a frittata with shrimp in it from the Veneto.
What? I've never seen that before.
I've never seen that. So if you want, I think that's like a very international translation of frittata, because everyone I know, frittata is something made with vegetables.
Yeah, I would absolutely disagree with the inclusion of shrimp if you're talking about being authentic. I mean, maybe it's not important to be authentic, but yeah, that's not authentic. Sorry.
Exactly. I have to admit, as an American, of course, I could interpret Italian cuisine any way I want because I'm not born and raised here. But my husband is very traditional. So most of my cooking is very traditional Ligurian or whatever region I'm cooking from. And so my frittata is like the classic Italian frittata.
Yeah. All right, I think my veggies are pretty much sauteed. And so other veggies that we can put in here, what can we brainstorm? We can talk about, I've got asparagus, onion, and mushroom. You could do what else?
Well, I have to admit that I'm a single veggie person. So I'm doing onion and zucchini. Another really good frittata is also Swiss chard.
Oh.
That's delicious. I bet it would be great in America. You could do a kale frittata.
You have to blanch it first, though, right?
Sorry?
You have to blanch it first, I think, right?
Well, you have to cook it in any case. Yeah. So, if you cut, let me show you. Well, I'll show it to you when we come back over to me.
Yeah. Oh, no, we're on you. We're on screen,
okay,
baby.
Great. So let me show you. This is the Swiss chard. Let me see. Sorry, I'm not as good as my 15-year-old daughter.
Hey, but I'm up in my game this week, my friend. That's why I figured out split screen so they can see both of us at the same time.
I love that, Sarah. That's awesome. So here's my Swiss chard. Now, if you'll notice, what I did was I chopped up the stems, and I basically cut them in like a chiffonade, so in little small pieces, and then I let the Swiss chard cook with a little bit of onion and a little bit of water that was on the Swiss chard from washing it. When it was going, since my stems are a little bit thick, I actually added a little bit water. So I put it on, started on a medium flame, then put it on a little bit lower flame and just added a little water so it could get a little bit softer. Let me show you. So this is my zucchini.
All right.
Wait a
I
minute.
can't believe you guys have zucchini already. Zucchini is just a dream for me. My plants are about 3 inches high.
Exactly. We're a little bit farther along. And one of the things, so if you go to the farmer's market, or Sarah, like you that have a garden, one of the things you can do is you can take your flour, and if you get, now my zucchini is a little bit, it's not perfectly fresh. I just bought it today, but it was probably picked a few days ago. If you can get a fresh flower, it is fantastic if you also chop up the fresh flower and throw it in.
Oh, hey, that's actually an idea, Ruth. What we should probably do later on in the summer, once I can actually procure some of the flowers, is that we could do stuffed zucchini flowers. So those are really fun. You can take a zucchini flower and you can stuff it with cheese and things.
Sure. I also use, these are cipolle di tropea. So tropea, you know, Sarah is in Calabria.
Yeah.
And these are very, I mean, they're a type of red onion, but they're also very sweet. And I love them in the frittata because it gives this nice sweet taste.
I almost went to Tropea this summer. That was on my list, but then we ended up making a beeline for Sicily instead. So that is on my list for the next time I'm able to be out and about in Italy.
Well, people keep telling me, like my husband, that Calabria is fantastic.
Yeah.
So yes, it's on our list. We'll see if we can get there sometime.
Yeah.
Okay. How are you doing with your?
My veggies are done. I'll go ahead and show everybody. So I've got a nice mixture of, and I kind of tried to make them all similar size pieces. I just think that's nice when you make something to keep all the goodies consistent. So onion, asparagus, mushroom, and that's it with olive oil. I haven't put any salt or pepper in it just yet. So I'm waiting for instructions from Il Capo. All right, Capo, what's next?
I want to say that everyone who's cooking knows what their own family's health is. So for example, when I cook, I do cook with salt and pepper. But if I were cooking for my dad, I would not add any salt because he has high pressure. So of course, everyone needs to make their own choices because you don't need salt. It helps enhance the flavor, but it's fine if you don't add salt. Okay. If you are ready, what I would suggest, you have to decide if you have a lot of oil or you don't want to have too much excess oil. So what I do is I take my vegetables out of my pan in like a colander and make sure I don't have excess oil.
Okay. I don't have excess oil for sure, so I'm going to just skip that.
Good. I think you can actually even throw your egg sauce right on top.
Okay.
It doesn't look like you have too much. So what I'm going to do is I have taken 3 eggs and I have them in. So when I cook, guys, I always do eggs in a separate bowl. And the reason being is I'm not a professional chef. So once in a while, I have a little bit of piece of egg shell. So I always use a separate bowl. So I'm absolutely sure I don't have the shell. Here I go.
Uno, due, e poi,
Bravo.
tre. You know, one of the bigger confusions I had when I was studying Italian as a student was certain words are virtually the same, like peach and fish, pesce and pesce. And then the other one that I could never keep straight is egg and grape. Can you give us a little language lesson? What's the difference between
What did you say the first thing before grape?
egg.
Oh, egg, sure. Uovo.
Versus?
Of course, uovo. and grape is uva.
Yeah, they
And
look virtually the
yes.
same, and I find that was one of the ones that I often got mistaken. So when I tried to get a dozen, I've asked for a dozen grapes before.
Okay, I will have to say that the two words that are very similar in Italian are dolce, which is dessert,
Yeah.
and doccia, which is a shower. And I was with my mom in a restaurant, and I will admit, this is like, I'm talking 25 years ago, maybe even 30. And I asked them, Signora, would you like some dessert? And I actually asked for a dolce di cioccolato, which is a chocolate shower.
Oh,
I wanted to
I
ask
don't even want to know what they thought you wanted.
they laughed literally in my face.
Oh my goodness. That is a whole another show that you and I could have, Ruth, is embarrassing moments in being an expat, because oh boy, do I have a lot of those stories.
Yes, I do have some of those. Absolutely. Who doesn't? But that's also because it's fun because, I learn something new every day. And sometimes it's language and sometimes it's other stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, I got my 3 eggs. I got my vegetables all cooked. What's next?
Okay. So what I'm going to do is, since I'm on this side, I'm going to mix my eggs and my vegetables.
Oh, in the bowl. Okay.
And I have them here in my little pan. Brava. Mix your eggs and your vegetables. That's a great idea.
Yeah,
okay.
I want to put it in the pan because the pan's still warm, and then it'll...
You need some Parmigiano or whatever kind of cheese you have that you want to use.
Okay, so I'm mixing in my eggies, and then I still have a little heel of Pecorino Romano that I bought in Rome in the fall, so I will go ahead and grab that.
Good.
And this, as I mentioned a couple of days ago, Pecorino has a much different flavor than Parmesan. It's also salty, but it's definitely, I don't know, I'd say the flavor is gamier, don't you think?
Well, of course, because Pecorino is a sheep's cheese, so it has a little bit of it has a more distinctive flavor.
Yeah.
I love both. I mean, if you like cheese, we're lucky because Italy has so many wonderful cheeses.
How much cheese would you think should be put into this?
Okay.
That's about a quarter cup. Is that enough?
I think that's great.
Okay.
I'm adding a little extra to mine. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is see, you want to have the right mixture of vegetables to eggs. And that looks good to me.
Okay.
Great.
So lots and lots of goodies, lots and lots of veggies, really.
And the thing that's really nice about frittata is, first of all, one of the things that I did is, I do this often, you can create your, if you are cooking dinner and you have a little extra time or in the afternoon or the morning, you can pre-cook your vegetables, put it in the fridge, and then just take it out when you actually want to make the frittata.
Oh, okay.
The other thing that is a great idea that I do often is we love to have pasta with vegetables, and the same thing we just did works for pasta. So, you can pre-cook your vegetables and then come the next day, warm them up.
This actually, I'm just thinking about other ways to apply this principle. I made enchiladas a couple of nights ago, and I made like an enchilada filling that was chicken, sweet potato, roasted poblano chilies, and onions. And I had a little left over. I couldn't fill all the enchiladas with it. So that actually could even go into a frittata, right?
I'm sorry, I'm waving to your son who just put his little head in. Absolutely, you could do that. I mean, anything that works with eggs is fair game.
Yeah.
I personally prefer just vegetables. I don't really like on my pizza, I would never get prosciutto or I don't like the hot meat aspect, but everybody's got their own taste.
So no chicken, ground beef, and pineapple on a pizza for you?
Yeah, exactly. I'm not even getting prosciutto or ham on my pizza.
Oh, well, the prosciutto, I don't like cooked prosciutto on my pizza, but I do enjoy the prosciutto they put on fresh on the top afterwards. So.
Okay, here we go. So.
I do have homeschool going in the next room, so that's what you're seeing.
Okay, let me organize myself. Here we go. So now I put a little bit of I use a mix of olive oil and extra virgin olive oil for cooking.
Okay, so that lowers the cost of using the oil. That's smart.
Also because in Italy, like, for example, okay, I can show you. This is what we did last week with so last week we used pure extra virgin olive oil.
That's what I use, yeah.
And that's great because you don't need that much if you're doing pesto or you're making a salad or you want to put it straight on top of fish or something. But to cook, I have from the same kind of producer this mix of extra virgin and regular olive oil.
Oh, how interesting. I've never seen that before. So they actually produce a cooking quality of oil.
Well, you know what you could do, Sarah? The next time you go, even in a supermarket, what you will see a lot of times, like what you find in like the tins, that is usually a mix, and it's for cooking because if not, you know, sometimes, first of all, it's a little bit lighter flavor. Second of all, of course, it's cheaper, so the home cook can save a few bucks.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Well, and I think that the other thing to point out to people is, that, you know, I'm using this olive oil that is probably, I think this was maybe $7 a bottle, and we go through a bottle like this in about 2 weeks. So it is a little bit of a luxury item, but in Italy, extra virgin olive oil is more of a human right, isn't it? It's not a luxury.
It's, first of all, we have an entire aisle in the supermarket with just olive oils.
Yeah.
So you have a lot of choices and you have a lot of price points. Every supermarket has a private label olive oil.
Yeah, they do. And they're not bad too. Like the Co-op one. Co-op is sort of one of the common grocery stores. All right, my friend, I got some sizzling olive oil. What's up?
Throw in your mixture of vegetables and eggs. And you're going to want to use like a fork or something to then put it down, you know, flatten it out. We're going for the idea of like a pancake here.
How hot should my stove be?
I have mine on full blast to start, and then I'm going to bring myself down. So I'm on full blast.
I had mine on full blast too, and as I'm looking at it, I was like, oh, that might be too hot. So yeah. All
right, and for example, now I've put my mixture in. It's already bubbling, and now I'm going to lower my gas to, you know, halfway.
Okay.
Maybe let's say 3/4.
Okay. You did 3 eggs, and I did 3 eggs. Yours looks a lot bigger than mine. I think Italian eggs are bigger.
Tell you that these eggs I'm using, let me show them to you. They're enormous. I'm using them because I bought them for baking.
Yeah.
Look how big they are.
Well, and isn't this interesting? In Italy, they sell them in
very yellow.
6-pack, and they also don't refrigerate them.
Okay, exactly. Although usually when we get them, like, they don't refrigerate them when they're in the shop, in the supermarket or in the fruttivendolo, like your corner vegetable market. But then when you bring them home, most people put them in the refrigerator. I don't know why, because apparently they last longer. All right, Sarah, so
in the U.S., they rub them with something, and then it makes them have to be refrigerated, but they do something different in Italy where you don't actually have to refrigerate them.
Correct.
Yeah, what I've heard.
So what I'm doing, Sarah, is I'm using a fork, and I am trying to get more air into all over. So I'm just sort of pricking down with the fork a little bit.
That's an interesting technique. Okay.
And that drops the fork and the spatula. Thank goodness that nobody important is coming for dinner.
Hey, I'm going to guess that Adriano and Cristiano would disagree with that, and Isabella.
Okay, so my husband didn't come home yet. He's out actually working. He was working on the boat because he had some cleaning to do. And the kids, I'm not going to tell them that I just dropped it since I already fixed that. Okay. Now let's see how we're doing. Now, we have two choices at this point with our frittata. There are people who now take their frittata and they put it in an oven, and the oven does the work of cooking the frittata.
Okay.
Right? Because you want it cooked on both sides.
Yeah, so that's option one. Toss it in an oven. An oven probably about what, 350?
Yeah, 350 is good.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to, so I flip my frittata.
All right.
Which means you can get a plate, use the top of a pot, and you have to be bold and fast. So I leave it on for a few minutes so I make sure. I like to cover it so that it's not like runny.
Okay. Oh yeah. All right. Let me get caught up. I was so stunned by your idea of using a pot lid that I was puzzling through that in my mind and not looking for my lid. Let's see.
Again, it's a frittata, so if it's a little bit more cooked, that's fine. That looks perfect, Sarah. Let's put it this way. The lid can always be bigger. It cannot be smaller.
Okay.
Okay. You are going to take all of your courage and you are going to tell yourself on like a 1, 2, 3, I'll go first. You can watch me, because there is no halfway. You have got to flip this baby and throw it back in the pot, or if not, it's going to land on the floor. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, over.
Okay.
Don't burn your hand, and you roll it in, and there we go.
Oh, are you going to make me do this, Ruth? I'm totally going to ruin this. All right.
Yeah, and I didn't tell you to practice, so I'm, you know.
Yeah, you're totally spraying this on me, dude. What are you doing?
I don't want to.
All right. And if I don't mess this up, but you see, if I don't mess this up, that means that everybody out there in Facebook land, you can do it too. I better turn off the heat though, so I don't burn myself. Okay, so flip it over.
Sure.
All right. 1, 2, 3. Oh, hey now, that worked.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then just slide it in. Brava! Perfect!
A little nerve-wracking, but hey.
And then, now again, I prick the frittata so it cooks through, because you want it, you do not want the egg runny. You want it cooked.
So many new techniques for me today, Ruth. I love it.
The other thing is, a frittata is a typical thing that people make, like moms will, oh, my husband's here. Ciao, Cristiano.
Ciao, Cristiano.
People make frittata sometimes like the night before or the morning, and they bring it with them on a picnic. You can also make a frittata sandwich. If you have good bread, like you can cut up your frittata, put it between 2 slices of bread, and you're good to go.
Dang. You know, frittata, I think people think, oh, that's just an omelet, but there is some technique to this. So, yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Like every kind of cooking, people have tricks.
You are just a wealth of tricks, my friend.
Again, I've been doing it for a while.
Yeah.
I will admit, I am very fortunate because, as you know, I love to talk to people. So.
No, do you?
Exactly. Yeah, you can't tell. So I ask everybody for their tricks, for their comments. I was lucky my mother-in-law was a really good cook. And I just ask people, and people give you amazing insight, especially in Italy when you go out to eat, because like people are proud of their kitchen, and a lot of times I have literally had, you know, I sometimes go into the kitchen if I've eaten something. Cristiano took me to this place. We ate this phenomenal pasta. I told the guy the food was so phenomenal. I never had a pasta this good. And he was like, come with me. And he proceeded to take me into the kitchen, and like they showed me how they did it.
That's so good. Yeah, that happens.
Italy, if you speak the language or you just like my dad speaks the universal language of getting along with people. Like Italians love to connect,
Yeah.
and that's the pleasure of traveling.
Your parents, by the way, are adorable, so we got to have them on sometime too. We can do a 3-way Skype call or Zoom call.
That would be great. I think we're almost ready.
I think so.
So now one of the other things I do is I am getting a plate, and if I feel like I would like there to be less oil, then I will put my frittata on a plate like I would do with some fried food with a paper towel. So let me see if I can.
This right now, I've got this on fairly gentle heat, just because I think that it's
correct.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll show you my heat.
Yeah, exactly.
Hang on. There's like super low burner.
Yeah.
Because we're now just finishing it off.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm turning off my heat because I think we're good. And I am going to roll my frittata right out. It's sliding out of the pan. It's on my plate. Yours is on your plate, and we're good to go. Yay!
That is just beautiful. And now the way you serve this, typically in Italy, is you would cut it into wedges, right? Kind of like a quiche.
Right, there he is. Husband. Home.
Just in time, I can tell. Ciao.
I have, okay, he is trained. He comes when the food is ready. Okay.
It's Cristiano, Ruth. I think that's most men.
Exactly. And I have to admit, I'm lucky because Cristiano's a very good cook. So sometimes I come when the food is ready.
That's very good.
How is it?
This is fantastic. What about yours, Sarah? How did it come?
Look, and she flipped it. She flipped it. Boom.
I used Ruth's technique. So I did a little bit different one. This is asparagus, mushroom, and onion. So a little bit different.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Sounds good too.
Okay,
Good.
so how are we going to serve our frittata? So what I usually do, Sarah, is I will cut the frittata in 8 pieces.
Okay.
You know, I let it, here we go. Wait a minute. Let me move myself. Okay, here we go.
You know, I can cut things in exactly 6 perfect wedges. And you know why?
Why?
My very first job ever was working at a food court pizza restaurant in a mall near Seattle. So it's one of my skills I got from my very first minimum wage job.
Okay.
Experience is good experience, if you ask me.
So now, what do people do? Like today is sort of warm. It's getting to be, it feels like summer's truly coming.
Yeah.
So what am I going to serve our frittata with? Well, first of all, we have this very special, where is it? Okay. I have little tiny, lovely tomatoes.
Beautiful.
Wait a minute. Hang on a second. I'm moving so you can see. Okay, so what did I do? I took my little cherry tomatoes and I cut them in half. Now, I did this about an hour ago because actually the marinade really makes a difference. This is very simple. Cherry tomatoes cut in half. I have extra virgin olive oil, a little salt, and some oregano. And the other thing I must say is that I love to cook with spices. And the quality of your spices truly makes a difference. I just got this oregano. You can see it. Here it is. Mm-hmm. It is spectacular. We've been using it on everything because it's so good. Then I have this thyme. Okay, this thyme I made myself because I had some fresh thyme and then I wasn't using it. And I was like, oh, I know. I'll just, pluck it off the stem and I'll make my own thyme. Now, the other thing we're going to eat tonight is some mozzarella di bufala. So it's not cow's milk, it's buffalo milk, like water buffalo milk. And I am going to get some salad out right now and make a salad. And, frittata salad, and this kind of stuff is like,
Salami, we just
oh,
bought,
wait a minute. We have
yesterday.
Cristiano said
Salami we just bought yesterday from close to Parma.
wait a
This
second.
is salame felino, typical of the area around close to Parma.
Have you
we-
seen it?
Beautiful. Oh, man.
we pass-
Can you
we
just
pass
teleport
all
that to me, please, Cristiano?
Pardon me?
Just teleport it. Put it in through the computer, and I'll take it out the other side.
Well, you got it?
It's really, really delicious.
Yeah.
We actually wound up, we had to go somewhere yesterday and we were close to, not far from Parma, and Cristiano and I decided to go on an adventure. We got off the highway at Fornovo, and Cristiano brought me to the Parmigiano factory. Take the Parmigiano out. Let's show Sarah what we got. Here's the Parmigiano that we bought yesterday.
Wow, that is
We
beautiful.
have them put it under the, how do you say, so the water?
Vacuum packed.
Vacuum pack. We got 2 pieces,
And
you know,
There we
freshly cut
go.
from the big form. And, you know, then we
because
go
it's
to the,
fresher, cheaper. And then we also got some salami. And I don't even want to tell you what we ate yesterday. Tortelli, which are a specialty of Parma. They are like a fat ravioli, a mix between a ravioli and a tortellini. But inside they have like Swiss chard or some sort of greens and ricotta cheese. And we got there and we asked the lady for them. And she said, oh my goodness, we've run out. Can you come back in a half an hour? And she made them fresh. And yesterday we went out for a coffee. It was the first time, Sarah, that we have had a coffee in public since February.
Oh, wow.
So it really felt like a vacation. I mean, just getting a stupid espresso on a bar and they were very, very, in Italy, they're really good. Everyone has masks. People take their masks off when they're, of course, drinking their coffee. But the lady has masks. When we got up, she came and she cleaned down the table and the chair handles and stuff with like an alcohol mix. So it actually feels very safe to be going around Italy because I think people are working together. I think Italians are in their heart like sort of anarchists. They like to flaunt, people don't like to follow rules. But Italians also are very collective. So we've had so many specialists on TV for the last 3 months, and they're telling us like, okay, we got to get through this together. So everybody's got to stay home. Everybody's got to wear masks. And now we're going to try to restart our economy, but we're all in it together. And Italians totally like that.
we finally have learned how to be on a line, which is, kind of a first-time experience for us. And, we're getting better and better.
I've actually seen pictures of my friend Roberto, who's watching right now. I remember his wife posted a picture of waiting outside of one of the grocery stores, like the Lidl or something like that. And everybody was standing on their little spot waiting. And I thought that had to be Photoshopped. There's no way.
No,
There's no way that Italians are actually waiting in a queue right now.
it is unbelievable that Italians, they're like, they're worse than, British. They are in their
British are very
line.
good.
Oh,
Now. Okay, now.
It's
Yeah.
like a bunch of Italians.
We have
and
improved. We have learned the lesson. Now we're getting even better than the British, which is a quite big thing, actually. So.
Well, you know what? I think that Italy has handled this crisis better than the U.S. for sure could have ever done. So hats off to Italy for sure on so many levels. They're just, I think Italians are weirdly good at working together. They really are. I mean, I know that that's not what they're famous for, but those of us who've been around the country a long time know that it's a dirty little secret,
Right. First of all, it also is a big issue that Italians like to work together. They wouldn't admit that, but yeah, I have to say, I think that now, of course, do we have stupid people? Of course, every country has people that don't follow rules. Like we've seen the people in Milan that are all out having aperitivo and they're not social distancing, but it's few and far between.
Yeah.
And in general, I think Italians feel like, okay, we'll make a sacrifice. Because actually, if we have something that we can do for the greater good, yeah, let's do it. Don't you think?
Yeah, thanks for the credit. I mean, I take that.
But, you know, I would say it is regional though, because, you know, Cristiano, you're Ligurian, and I know Ligurians and some of the northern folk are they have a different idea about rules than the southerners do. So, you know.
I have to say, Sarah, one of the worst regions has been Lombardia since the beginning. And you would think that they would be good.
Yeah.
But at the beginning, Lombardia was all about like Milano non si ferma, and they had all this stuff like nothing will stop us. We're the economic engine, and they actually are the region that is the most hard hit because they didn't want to stop. Now, of course, as Cristiano would say, Liguria, where we live, is known for being a little stingy and for being a little bit closed. So of course, everyone in Liguria has been having all these memes that we're passing each other, like, you know, this coronavirus is the best thing that ever happened to Liguria because everybody stays in their house. They don't have to talk to anyone and they don't have to spend money.
Well, if they want, they can send us, you know, like make a bank transfer and then we will accept that.
Right. And the tourism, they're like, you know what, just send them money, but don't come.
Well, and when you think about it, actually, you've given me an idea that I hadn't really thought about. The south of Italy has been disproportionately unaffected in terms of like Rome South has not had a big problem. But then when you think about the social priorities, north versus south, the priority in the north is business. All throughout the Veneto and Lombardia, those are all very business-oriented, business-driven parts of the country. The south is family-driven. They're all about clan, they're about tribe and family. And so they're going to be more concerned about taking care of each other than they are about taking care of the economy that's my 25 years worth of
I think you have a good point.
That's true. But now that the tourism season has already started, they know, you know, these regions like in the south or in Sardinia, they know that they need the tourists from the north.
Sure.
So, you know, they will want the northern country to be open, to be, how can I say, the people from the north.
The regions. We're waiting to find out if the regions open.
So that they can move from one region to the other. Right. Otherwise, you know, there is not like really like a domestic tourism within these regions. So they need the people from the north to be able to get out. So I think at this point, you know, everybody would like to be free to move around because you know, all regions would benefit from that. But of course, we have to pay attention because the people from Lombardia, we know there is a high rate of contagious people there, and so
we'll see what happens. We'll know next week.
Again, it's kind of risk, but I think if the South region they want that, I mean, there's nothing that we can really do against that. So, and myself too, I have to go down I have a boat in the south. I need to go there and get my boat. My God.
You have to get the boat and get it ready so that when I get there, we can go out on the boat. So I've already promised multiple people if there are flights going to Italy in the fall, even if I don't have work, I'm coming at least for a couple of weeks to visit everybody. So
that's great.
So we will wait for you.
Show up on your doorstep with a backpack one day by surprise.
Perfect. We love that. All right.
We look forward. So you're always welcome.
At this point, we're going to wish you bon appetit, though.
Bon
Thank
appetit.
you very much. And here is my product, and I'm going to go ahead and have a little bite.
Oh, it looks good.
I have salami.
Let me try the frittata.
Yeah, it's great. I think I would have done maybe, because my eggs were small, I would have done maybe one more egg to give it a little bit more heft, but it's very good.
I also like the frittata pretty flat. But if you like it taller, of course, add another egg.
Delicious. All right, my darling friend. Thank you so much for another wonderful cooking lesson. And I would love to make this a regular thing if you would agree. So think about what else you want to teach us. It's always a delight to hang out with you and Cristiano.
Ciao, everybody. Ciao, Sara. Ciao.
Ci vediamo presto. Ciao, ciao.
Aspettiamo. Ciao. Un bacio.